and then we'll get started. All right. All right. All right, cool. We'll be getting started shortly, people. Make sure that you're commenting. Let us know how your week's going. Let us know how everything's going. And yeah, and we'll be getting started shortly.
So there are some people that are known as credit invisible people. They are not doing the established actions that credit bureaus recognize as what you would do to create a credit history. There
Really?
are people that pay rent, and they may pay
Interesting.
rent cash.
What happened?
No, I was talking about the what you were playing in the background. I'm just like, I'm not sure what that is. Informational. Why, thank you.
Yeah, needing to know.
Didn't
Basic.
even know. Had no clue. All right.
All right.
All right. We got it everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
I don't know what that was about, but I'm sure I'm not glad I'm on the receiving end of that one because that sounds like it's got a whole lot of bad on there. All right. Wait for a few more to pop in, and then we will get started.
Oh, what to say? Calling. Oh, we losing bad.
What are you talking about? Oh, Yankees?
Yeah. I ain't trying to. Hold on.
All right. All right, and we'll be right back.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got...
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
All right, people, and welcome back. Oh, that is the youngest of the crew, being ridiculous.
Hi.
Love you. Yes, goodbye, sir. Yes. So, without further ado, welcome back. Apparently Josh had to get some regulating going, but in the meantime, how's everything going this evening? Welcome back to the Welcome back to the JAC podcast, where we're coming to you everything Colts related, and then also maybe slander a couple of your teams depending on how we feel. Depends. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Y'all good?
Yeah, I had to change some stuff up. So, like my stuff was lagging a little bit.
Gotcha. But yeah, we're just getting into we're just getting started. So yeah, so for the most part, before we go any further, gotta get you introduced to the guys. Primarily because, you know, if they're not here, there's no podcast. Mainly because you're just sitting here just watching blank space. So in the meantime, so that we can get started, we're gonna start off with the esteemed gentleman. First off, the man who generally is known as Senior or Senor in parts of Mexico. We have with us Josh Senior, everybody.
I'm going to change my name again. They've been calling me the Colts Hall Monitor, so I'm going to stick with that.
Oh, Colt Hall Monitor? I like
Yeah,
that.
because they get offended because I call them out when they BS. So Titans fans have called me Colts Hall Monitor, so I'm going to embrace that.
Whatever's clever, boss.
What's good, everybody?
Yes. And then we have with us the man, the silent assassin, the one who is officially a month away from tying the knot and giving away all freedom. We have with us Ice Cookie, everybody.
What's up? I'm Austin Cook.
All right. And then, of course, I'm Chris Jackson, but you all knew that, whatever. But yeah, but we're getting straight to it. We took last week off. Wasn't too much going on. But, yeah. This week, however, we're going to be much going on. But, oh, no. Why do I need to see that? We're going to be much going on. But, Josh, what in the sound labs are you doing over there?
I'm sorry. I had a moment. My bad.
Oh, good. But yeah. So I mean, it's been a little bit crazy. Colts fans had a weekend. I'm not gonna say a good weekend. I'm just gonna say a weekend. A lot of reaction. Some say overreaction. Some say just reaction as a whole. But yeah, it's been a little bit crazy. But before we get to that,
it's bad. Yeah.
Just before we get to that, we're just gonna go ahead and just get out the way because they did go ahead and just make some roster cuts today. So I think they cut like 4 guys. I think we'll probably see a little bit more over the next couple of days, but a couple of guys, Isaiah Ford, he's like veteran guy. It's just like generally like lower on the depth chart. Michael Young Jr.
Surprise.
He had a fantastic catch, but I think he might be I'm gonna say a roster. I'm going to say a roster casualty because, I mean, how else is he going to be able to actually get in there? Because if Paris Campbell stays healthy, then that means that you're basically just trying to move up the depth chart with Pittman, Alec Pierce, Paris Campbell, and God knows, I think maybe Kiki QT as well. So you're going to have to fight your way up.
I just want to say I'm going to jump on here just like we're going to jump on you week 1 and win. So I just want
You haven't done it in 2 years.
That's fine. Jags hasn't done it in 2 years either. So
haven't done what?
Hey, Matt.
Beat y'all open 1.
Matt, open 2 words. Magnifying glass.
Hey, I got to say, 2016, open a day. Had one.
Oh, come on. It's 2016?
2016 had one since open a day. So come on.
Sure.
So it means we got it. It means it's in our favor then, because we playing a team that we can beat the last 2 years.
Hey, history repeats itself. So every year you lose opening day, guess what's gonna happen? That's what I thought, guys.
Hey, listen. If the Texans lose week 1, you have to roll your hair out.
Oh.
Look, if the Texans win day 1 like they're going to, y'all gonna be 1-2. Yeah.
Is that what?
You play the Jags at Jacksonville week 3.
Oh, that's fine.
So you're gonna start off with a losing record, 0-2 in the division.
Listen, unless Christian Kirk is gonna play to the amount that we believe he is Well, that we believe he's not. I mean,
Hey, at
I
least we
don't.
can agree on that. The Jags are just complete trash. I mean, that's something that can bring us all together. You know,
The last time I went to Houston, what was the scoreboard?
it was a complete shutout, but it was a complete different. It's a complete different team now.
The same quarterback.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Nope.
It's not a humongous difference in terms of
Tyrod
teams.
Taylor was the starting quarterback that day, sir.
The first quarter.
Mills,
It was the first quarter.
First half.
Okay,
Davis Mills didn't come in until fourth quarter, so don't put that on my boy Money Mills. Okay.
Okay. Money
Mills.
He
Yeah,
played
that's
in
What we're
Houston.
going with?
He played in Indy then.
And we got the better of the peers. So just let y'all know that. All right.
Oh my God! Here goes this guy.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying. So it is a complete different roster there, sir. All right.
It's
Way
semi-different. It's
Way
semi-different.
You got our has-beens and Jerry Hughes. That's all you got.
Okay, and he's gonna do better with us than he did with you. So it's all right.
Well, he was a bust with us.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say,
if
guys, y'all doing a good job. I'm back at it.
I got
I got to do something other than Jack's did and start my own podcast. So
Oh yeah, there you go.
yeah, have a good one.
You know what?
Good looking out, man.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
I know what you're gonna do. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna jump off before you get off here. See you later, guys.
All right, man. Have a good one, man.
That was Matt Briggs with the AFC South fan battle and Texans fan battle, which I believe they broadcast on Wednesday and
Tuesday,
Thursday. For all 47 Texans fans out there, you can go ahead and watch that podcast. They're always giving out some insightful information. I'm sorry, 48. But yes, so yeah, back to what we were talking about. So we had a few roster cuts. I think there was Brandon Kemp, offensive tackle. I think he was lower on depth chart, and then also Alexander Myers, who was definitely not seeing the light of day in that cornerback room because I mean at this point, yeah, anybody coming in that's not Gilmore, Kenny Moore, Isaiah Rodgers, Marvell Tell, Brandon Faceson, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, it's hard. That's a hard room. That's a tough one. That's tough to make that roster.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because I mean, honestly, the secondary is already pretty much set as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, I mean, I don't know if anybody else, and we're not going to get too far into it, but Nick Cross actually looked really good. So I mean, you have to account for that because I mean, if he comes in and he really makes a difference early, he has that strong safety spot locked down.
But not only him, but I mean, McLeod did too. He played pretty good too.
Yeah, McLeod, yeah. So yeah, but like I said, we'll be talking more about that game later. But so prior to this past weekend's game, there was a lot of fuss being made once they put on full pads, talking about the offense, talking about they had drops, they didn't look too good. So I'm gonna say it's just like, are these legitimately offensive struggles, or did our defense just get really good? And we'll start with Austin. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see a little bit of struggle when you first put on pads, and like we do have a young receiving core, and we do have a new quarterback and a new system. So I wouldn't worry about it, and I do think our defense has gotten better since last year, and so there's gonna be some drops. People are saying we need to bring in a vet wide receiver, and I don't disagree. But if we don't, then I mean it's not the end of the world either. But yeah, so if it is a struggle right now, it's the beginning of preseason. We got time, so it's nothing to worry about.
All right. And what about you, Josh?
I don't look at it as a big deal because these are the games where you have those moments where you can get out the bad drops and bad interceptions and all. These are the times you do that in preseason and training camp. Like I said, we got a new quarterback for the fifth year in a row. A new quarterback running a different offense. It's a different offense, which he have run several different offense in Atlanta. So it's a learning curve. And then you got to give credit to the defense. It's a different defensive system. And they much. If you say, I mean, without getting into the preseason game, but they look much hungrier. They look more. I mean, everybody is running to the ball. Like you said, we got a young core going against, Gilly Lock, going against Kenny Moore, going against, veteran guys. So they haven't seen that as often. I mean, Pittman is probably, it's like I said, Pittman and Doolin's our veteran guys. And so Pierce and other guys are struggling right now. But these are the times where they should struggle going into week 1, week 2, and then throughout the season. So I give more credit to the defense than I say offense having a struggle, because our defense look really good under Gus.
Yeah. You know what, and I think I think we said it last week, just having a regular discussion. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing on the offense. I think it just really speaks like volumes for the defense. It's just like the one thing that we have had issues with time and time again is that secondary. And
Correct.
It's just like for years it was just Kenny Moore. And then, it's just like we had, Julian Blackmon was good, but he dealt with some injury stuff. And then, Kyrie Willis was actually pretty good, but sometimes even last year, it's just like he kind of got caught out there in coverage. Where now, Isaiah Rodgers is much more developed. Stephon Gilmore is Stephon Gilmore, so we know exactly what we're getting from him. And then Kenny Moore is also a proven commodity. So that right there means that you have 3 guys who can pretty much go with almost any, trio of receivers in the league. And the thing about it is there's not a lot of great trios of wide receivers in the league. They have 1, maybe 2. And then after that, it's just like, it's a free-for-all. So having the secondary like this be as strong as they are, and then also having that front 7, really just be in a great position is going to speak volumes. So, it's going to be completely different. And then here this guy goes, he says, bring the Texans fan back. No, absolutely not. No, you had your turn. Okay. You had your time. Your time is up. Our time is now. Not to quote John Cena. But you know what? Either way, doesn't matter. On to the next one. So then with that being said, just speaking to the offense then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this an adjustment period, or is our offense out of sync right now? And we'll start with Josh.
I mean, whether they did good or bad, it's always going to be an adjustment period.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stagnant. You don't want to be comfortable saying, okay, hey, we went out and we went out the first couple of drives and we killed it. You don't want to be complacent. So it's always going to be an adjustment period for the offense. Next week, we'll see a different team against the Lions because we got the adjustment period. We knew that it couldn't work. Even though it was vanilla offense, we knew that, okay, this play didn't work. Okay, we knew that we had some drops right here. So now we could get more catches. The drive start, the drive continues. So yeah, anytime, whether you did good or bad, there's always going to be an adjustment period. And it starts this week up until the game Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I agree. I would say it's an adjustment period because it was talking about the game. It was our first time against like another team, like new faces, and we have a lot of new faces ourselves, and a lot of young people. So we're just going to be adjusting, and we hopefully adjust everything well enough until the actual season.
I mean, we don't want to look over the fact that we got to see what works with Matt Ryan and what doesn't. Does he want to run a faster offense? Do you want to run a slow offense? Because he's 37. I mean, not saying he's old. I mean, he is old, but not saying that he can't handle the tempo. But we're just trying to figure out what works for him and what doesn't work. What doesn't work, we take out of the playbook. What works, we add it to the playbook, and we know what works. And with this scheme, with this type of player, this group of receivers or tight ends or running back. So yeah, it's always going to be an adjustment period.
Yeah, and I think from an offensive standpoint, this is going to be a different team for Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, year in and year out, he also was dealing with some woes.
All right.
Sorry about that. 1 second.
You sound like Macho Man Randy Savage.
I can't even do the impression. I'm like, wait, hold on.
Take your time, man. Take your time. You're choking like the Titans. You must saw Tannehill through a pick, so you start coughing again.
Sorry about that. I just thought about the fact that the Titans had to pick up another AFC South reject. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. It won't happen again, I promise. I promise it won't happen again. Yeah, so but the other thing that I was saying was that Matt Ryan has had moving pieces on that offense for years now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ever since the Super Bowl, it's just like that team's gotten worse.
Every
I
year.
mean, they've lost Devontae Freeman, so they had backups running there. They lost Julio Jones, and then Calvin Ridley has been in and out. They paid for a tight end and then drafted Kyle Pitts. But we're looking at a team that's had a high amount of turnover. And I'm talking about a high amount of turnover.
Right.
Like it's been to the point where it's just like you have a lot of different moving parts. Now, this is potentially going to be something similar to that in terms of dealing with a different team, but it's a different team that has chemistry to it. You know, you have guys like Pittman, you have guys like Naeem Hines and Jonathan Taylor, you have guys like Mo Ali Cox. You know, so the thing is with it's not like it's going to be just a bunch of guys who would normally be practice squad guys. This means that there's going to be guys who are already in here who know exactly how to play their assignments. They know what to do. Naeem Hines is somebody who you know can run and catch. Jonathan Taylor the same. Jonathan Taylor,
Correct.
you know, even if Matt Ryan doesn't have the greatest of years, he's going to get 1,000 yards. So, you know, I think when we're talking about like the offense, with anything, this is going to be a team that Matt Ryan hasn't played with before. So he's going to have those adjustments. I hope that doesn't spill into week one,
Mm-hmm.
but I would love to break our streak against the Texans because that would be fantastic.
Yeah. We're 5-0 against them, and last 3 years.
Yep, exactly. And then we have a couple comments, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Darius says, definite adjustment period in vanilla offense, rookie wide receivers, new quarterback, etc. Yes, exactly.
Right.
And then he said, definitely choke artist team there, Josh. Talking about the Titans. Yeah, the Titans. We're gonna call them the AFC South redos.
Or rejects, however.
Yeah, AFC South reject receivers. But yeah, moving on. No time for petty. All right. So played our first game against the Bills in Buffalo this past Saturday. And I'm gonna say we're gonna lead off with Austin. Just kind of give us a walkthrough of what you saw in the game or what happened during the game. Like I said, you can go for the entire game, just quick hits. But what were some of the things that you saw that kind of stood out?
Yeah, so Matt Ryan started the game, and he didn't look amazing, but he didn't look like he didn't make me worried about the season. Like, I'm still excited to see him play. I think he still has it. Like, he's still a solid quarterback.
Okay.
Then our defense started off slow, but other than the start, they really did look hungry. They all were after the ball, like Josh alluded to earlier. We forced 5 turnovers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Which, I mean, that's great for the first preseason game. I'm not. I wasn't a fan of Nick Foles. But hopefully, he's adjusting as well. Then second half, Sam Ellinger looked really well. He played probably our best. He was probably our best quarterback that game.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Nick Cross stood out first half, second half. He was
Yeah.
solid for the secondary. Isaiah Rodgers was solid for the secondary. And Jelani Woods scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's awesome was.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say kind of to piggyback off your point, it's just like those guys that we've been talking about, that we've been saying, okay, well, we need to see something from them. But actually we're delivering. I think Isaiah Rodgers, even for him to play the amount that he played, it's like, I mean, he had a fumble recovery, he had a pick. I think he returned the ball, I think somewhere around like maybe 40 to 50 yards. Like, I mean, I think he's going to continue to be that guy that continues to prove like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely coming for whoever spot. Like, I think we might be able to see them where he develops into a true number 2, and then we can put Kenny Moore in there to, just continue to be, I think, the best corner in the league. But, the Ellinger to Woods touchdown was absolutely ridiculous because Woods, being all of 6'7", just went up and just kind of like grown man them. Like he grown man to everybody. It wasn't even a muff.
So we can talk about the Raz, huh?
Huh?
So can we talk about the Raz? Because they laughed at us about the Raz, but he just jumped over he jumped over 3 guys to get that touchdown, and he barely jumped. It wasn't really. He didn't have to go. He had to go up for it because, like you say, he's 6'7". But that's where the Raz play and part with. Those guys make fun of us in that dumb division, in our dumb division.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. And you know what? So and then we're going to take a quick aside. So quick timeout. I'm not going to take any slander from a team where you lost, but the only touchdown that was scored was a running touchdown, and then your coach afterward said that he has to throw the ball
and benched him.
Yeah, and then somebody had the absolute nerve and audacity to say, "Oh yeah, well he had 145 total yards, and your guys only did this much." I'm just like, first off, he only had 80 some passing yards. Even if you want to compare that to Sam Ellinger went 10 for 11 for 88.
What they did say is that he said that Willis had more rushing yards than Matt Ryan. It's like, yeah, Matt Ryan's not a rushing threat.
So let's just go ahead and just say it like this. If you're comparing Malik Willis rushing for more yards than Matt Ryan, then I also expect you to say, hey, you know what? I know in a race, the Bugatti is always going to beat a Prius. Sir, it's a Prius. It's a damn Prius. Like, why are we discussing this? Like, Malik Willis, fantastic. He will have the rushing yard. He doesn't have the Matt Ryan accuracy. Why? Because he doesn't throw the ball enough. As per Mike Vrabel, I'm only quoting what Mike Vrabel said. So as far as I'm concerned, like, no, it's the dumbest comparison ever from the dumbest fan base possible. Like, it's literally like the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life, because you're sitting there and comparing two different quarterbacks that do the complete opposite.
Correct. One is going to be in top 5 in passing.
Yeah, and the other one is going to be waiting for his turn behind Ryan Tannehill and Logan Woodside. Because, mind you, he got benched for Logan Woodside.
Who blew the game.
Yeah. And mind you, Logan Woodside threw 2 picks. So, you got bigger things to worry about there, bucko. But in the meantime, who stood out? I mean, who stood out to you the most? I mean, and you know what? Let's go ahead and make this a little bit better. Who stood out on offense and who stood out on defense?
Well, on offense, like I said, we Sam Ellinger Hines. I mean, nobody have mentioned his name, but Philip Lindsay,
Yeah,
he stood out. Of course, Pittman, Granson stood out. Kyle Granson stood out.
yeah,
He had a couple catches, couple plays that were big plays.
yeah.
Jelani Woods, of course. I mean, I don't want to say Allen Pierce stood out. The catch he had, I think it was a back shoulder fade. That was nice, but I mean, the guy's 6'4", man. He's gonna make those catches 9 out of 10 times. So, as a rookie, I still give him maybe a C. First preseason game, I think he built off of it, but that's on offense. Like I said, on defense, Isaiah, Bobby. That's this guy. What his name is? What is his name? We talk about his name too. Sterling Rutherford Ford. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had 8 tackles and then he had an interception. So that guy was balling. I don't know if he's gonna make the roster or not, but yeah, Sterling was all over the place, man. He's a linebacker. So, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yes. And what about you, Austin?
So obviously, I was a fan of watching Sam. I think he looked more like a QB2 than our actual QB2 did. And to talk about Alec Pierce, I saw some plays. He didn't get targeted, but whenever they were pressing him, he was very good on the press. Like he made a double move, got around. Would have been a touchdown if he got the ball through to him. But
you're talking about the one at the goal line? The one at the goal line?
It was a little farther back, but it was right at the end zone.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So he looked good. Promising. He didn't do much, but we saw what he could do. And then on defense, we mentioned Isaiah Rodgers. I think like you mentioned, he had a fumble recovery and an interception. He got a concussion, so hopefully he's fine. He said he's fine.
Yeah. But, he said he's good. He said he's good. So
yeah,
I think it's just like he'll definitely be fine. I'm gonna say it's the Ellinger definitely stepped up big time. Like I think it's just like he's trying to really shake that whole having to be like the QB3. I think sitting behind people like Nick Foles and sitting behind these guys, like he's gonna learn. He's gonna continue to learn because of course you didn't get that with Carson Wentz, but now you're sitting behind 2 guys who have been in the league 10 plus years, and these guys are actually like they've been to the highest level before, so you're going to be able to pick it up. Not just that, but the thing is these are guys who don't have the biggest arms, but they're super accurate, and they've been able to get by on just that alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he does have a little bit of mobility as well. So I think Ellinger really showed some things. I think Woods definitely is going to. He showed me he's probably going to end up being like a big red zone target unless he establishes himself as somebody who's going to be able to block and catch. So,
Frank Wright did say that they do have plans to use him in other ways than we'll see right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll see exactly how that goes. But as far as the go ahead.
Sorry. Also, you were talking about Sam Ellinger. I think bringing in Jack Cohn might have made him step up his game a little bit. Because when we brought in Cohn, we were like, is he going to take his spot on the roster? But I mean, after that game, it is pretty obvious who is higher.
Yeah. What we did see is that our third string line is trash. I mean, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, once you get to the third string, though, it's just like you're not necessarily looking for guys who are potentially going to go and be Hall of Famers. I mean, at that point, it's just like they've established themselves, so then that's just going to be it. So, I mean, it's just like if it gets down to that, then fine. But I don't think that we'll have those issues primarily because it's just like these guys aren't going to have to, do as much as they did last year when it came to dealing with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. But I'm going to say on defense, we're probably going to be looking at or the 2 people that I saw, and I think Darius said it too. He said Nick Cross, Isaiah Rodgers, and Sam Ellinger. Isaiah Rodgers and Nick Cross, but for very different reasons. I think
Mhm.
Isaiah Rodgers being able to play on special teams, but then also being able to play on defense, where he showed that he had a good eye on the ball. He had great reaction time. He was actually able to just go in and make sure that he was like making a difference, especially on the pick, because the pick was a thing of beauty. The pick itself is just like
Yeah, he knew it.
he
He read the whole
he,
play.
he yeah, he read the play, and then I mean on top of that, it's just like he had the speed to be able to just go. So, it's just like he looks more comfortable, he looks more ready. So it looks like he's absolutely going to be, just like vying for that spot, vying for that number 2 spot potentially. So I think we'll probably be seeing him in that. But then also Nick Cross, he had a couple of plays. I think one play in particular where um, it was a run play, and he kind of got stuck behind the tackle, the outside linebacker, and he saw where the running back was going, but he instinctively kind of went around, and then he was able to just make the tackle, even being in the position that he was.
It
So
was
I
on
mean,
third
it's
down
just
too.
like he showed the speed, he showed the instinct. I think having those two kind of vying, like really just being back there doing what they do, that'll be something that will translate into making sure that over the top, they're not going to be able to do everything that they want to do in terms of opposing teams. So that's going to be, I'm going to say, a big, big factor. And the thing is, they're both young too. I mean, you have two young guys back there who can kind of feed on each other. And I mean, Nick Cross is already looks like he's pro ready.
Yeah, he definitely did. Those stops, like at one at the goal line, like you said, went on 3rd and 4 or something like that, where he shot out a cannon, man. He just ran and stopped that play.
Yeah.
We in good hands. I mean, I know, hey, I give props to Carl Willis for retiring and doing what's best for him in his career after football, but we're in good hands with Blackman and Cross.
Oh
What
yeah,
I
absolutely.
saw from him, and even Blackman in the preseason game, I'm excited for our secondary.
Yeah.
And props to and we gotta give props to the coaching staff that we brought over from the Raiders.
Oh yeah.
That guy that was been coaching for, I think is it Ron Millis?
Yeah. I think it's Millis, however you say his name. But yeah, it's just like he's very, very. They said he's a cornerback guru, so he's the guy that basically coaches those guys up to get them to the point at like basically making sure that he's getting the most out of guys. And I think that's probably why we're seeing, the emergence of Isaiah Rodgers the way that we have, because I mean he looks so much better than he has previously. Like last year, it's just like he had the speed, he had the hands, but it's just like now it's just like on a couple of those plays, he just looked like he was just ready, like almost like he knew the play before they were doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now we've all mentioned, the whole like Sam Ellinger, how good he's looked and everything. But I did want to kind of pose a question because I want to get you guys' opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that we have Matt Ryan on a very kind of limited, kind of like a 2-year plan. So with that being said, are we getting Ellinger ready to potentially take over in the future? And I'll go with Josh.
I don't think so. Not saying he's a bad quarterback for the future because he looked really good. But I think Ballard, I think Frank want their guy. I mean, I'm not saying that Sam can't be the guy. Possibly can be, but I think they want a different type of quarterback.
Yeah.
That they used to have. I mean, I would say Simmons to like Luck, but we probably years away from getting that. Most people think that we're probably going to tank a couple of years to get Arch, but I doubt that. I doubt it.
Yeah. Because this doesn't. I mean, honestly, as long as Chris Ballard is around, I don't see them tanking for anything. Well, yeah. And by the way, Sam Barnett says boo. However, let it be known, hey guys, I think I think I'm gonna put up her Twitter. Please make sure that you go ahead and say that she hearts Jalen Ramsey. Oh yes, to everybody liking this on her page, she said this is not the opinion of hers. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's her opinion, 100%, all day, every day. All right. So yes, so you'll be fine. What about you, Austin? How do you feel about the Sam Ellinger? Like, how do you feel about him as potentially as a QB1? What do you think?
So as of right now, I would say no. I like him as a backup, but not as the future QB1.
Yeah.
Do I think he could potentially grow into that? Yeah. I mean, I saw glimpses of what he could do. He looked like he could be a solid quarterback, but he could also just be a solid backup for his career, and that's okay because there's great solid backups.
What's
Yeah.
that one guy that looked good his whole life? Well, his career as a backup. Chase, is his name Chase? Chase Daniels or something like that.
Chase Daniel?
Yeah,
No.
he make a lot of money as a backup. That's how I look at Sam Ellinger. Chase was projected to be like a starter at one point, but he made his money off being a bench player, a backup. He's a good backup.
I'm gonna say it's just like, yeah, because I mean, I don't know who Chase Daniels' agent is, but I mean, he could sell salt to a slug because he's gotten this man so much money for just playing 2 career games in, like, I think like 8 years.
Right, he been in the league longer than that, I think, huh?
It's ridiculous, but yeah, But here we have a few comments that I do want to make sure we go over. So Chris Sparks says, "What do you think of the whiteouts not getting open?" Okay,
they started to get over
though. So Frank Wright mentioned that also. He said like he didn't want to show everything first week of preseason. He said like obviously it's on them. It was more one-on-one, and it's on them to get open. But there are different things that they're gonna implement that will help them get open. And like I'm guessing when the regular season starts.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's just like it's. I think it's just like there's too much worry too soon, all because of the fact that we don't know exactly how this offense is going to look. We've heard so many different things regarding the offense and how it's supposed to work that we don't know exactly how they plan on, basically implementing the offense. We could just go straight West Coast offense and be throwing, screen passes to Naeem Hines out the backfield, utilizing it that way. But the thing is, we don't necessarily know exactly how the offense is going to look. I think this past Saturday was more so because of the fact that they want Matt Ryan to kind of have that in-game experience going against opposing defenses, just so that you can kind of get a feel behind the offensive line, especially for him, because, I mean, this is a very different offensive line than what he's played with previously. So you have to go ahead and just allow him. And not only that, but I don't think Matt Ryan would have agreed to go out there and even play for a quarter in the preseason in a time where he doesn't have to. Like, he has nothing to really prove. I mean, his career is pretty much spoken for itself. But yeah, so like, and then that's what we have with that. And then Sam says, I think Josh Sr. having "you don't know" above his head is accurate as F. Yeah, or aquarate. Okay, aquarati. That's where we're going with. Okay, and then he says we need a star wideout. Honestly, at this point, in terms of like adding additional wideout, yeah, you can add a wideout, but the thing is, it's just like adding somebody in this stage in the game when Matt Ryan's really building a lot of chemistry with a lot of these guys who are younger guys. I mean, unless you're adding somebody who's an absolute proven commodity, I think that's going to be. You know what? I want them to add a veteran wide receiver, but only if it absolutely comes down to it.
We are adding a star wideout. Megastron's back.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be a star.
Yeah, and maybe next,
Absolutely.
and maybe next year.
You are correct. No, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I said maybe next year we could do what the JACs do and just overpay a 4-screen receiver.
We could. How you feel about that, Sam? Huh? Will you want us to overpay a fourth-string wide receiver? Because we can absolutely do that too.
I can cover the don't and put I know
Well, Go ahead, just cover it with your hand, just real quick. Just cover it with your hand. Oh wait, no, it's not going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it.
Okay. We got it. Okay, Yeah, that's what. And then she says, "Josh Senior, you don't know Jack." All right. So now that Sam's done antagonizing people, well, she's really not, but yeah. So yeah, and by the way, big shout out to the AFC South Fan Battle and also the Jaguar Network, which is going to be the Jaguars podcast, where they will tell you about everything happening with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the meth in Jacksonville. So, therefore you will be able to be up on everything, football and methamphetamine.
Well, Sam, don't make me get Da Vinci on you.
Oh, how about we don't? How about we don't? How about we don't and say we did? How about that? How about that? So yeah, so moving on. Now, I think for the last month and a half, we've been running a contest through Twitter. Basically, we had 2 pairs of tickets up for grabs. We have this Saturday, right? This Saturday's game against the Lions up for grabs. And
Saturday or Sunday?
You told me they're your tickets.
1 second.
Wait a minute.
We had 2 pairs
Saturday.
Yeah, because I think we said
right.
it was the 20th and 27th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yes. So we had it's all good. So we had the 20th, and that one is at 1:00, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 27th is a night game. That's 8:30.
Yep. Against the Bucs.
Okay. Yes. So for the last month and a half, we've been running this contest where new Twitter subscribers, basically you just come in, you're able to go ahead and follow us, and then we'll be able to make sure that you're entered for a chance to win. We officially stopped entry. I gave people a little bit more time because we did have a good amount of people who were coming in. So what we're going to do now is we are going to formally announce the winners of the contest first. I'm going to spin a wheel. I got a little wheel app on here. Okay, I found it on Google, which means it's legit. Okay, so the first name that I pull will actually be for the Lions tickets, and then the second one will be for the Buccaneers tickets. All right. So I will make sure for those watching on Twitter or for those on Facebook, or if you're watching from Twitter, I will make sure that I tag you on Twitter to let you know exactly how to pick up the tickets and what to do. And yeah, we'll be good to go from there. So first drawing is going to be for the Lions tickets, and I am spinning the wheel right now. And the first winner for the Lions tickets, we have at Patty V 1996. At Patty V 1996. Let me go ahead and take a picture so I can post it on Twitter so it's real. All right. We have a winner at Patty V. All right, so you now have tickets to go to the Lions game this upcoming Saturday. And then we're going to spin one more time, and this is going to be for the Buccaneers tickets for the 27th at 8:30. And we are spinning, and we have H. Hooven 4. H. Hooven 4, you now have 2 tickets to the Colts versus Buccaneers preseason game. And so with that being said, guys, congratulations. I'll go ahead and hit you guys up on Twitter so you know exactly when to expect it. And so we'll absolutely be there. And then we're going to do some giveaways during the year potentially. We'll see what we can do. All right. So in the meantime, guys, we will be back next week after this week's game, which Patty V 1996 will be at. So in the meantime, guys, make sure that you're watching us throughout the week. Well, actually not us, but watching our parent podcast, AFC South Fan Battle, which broadcasts on Mondays. The Texans fan battle is broadcasting, I believe, on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Just be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, guys, where can the people find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at I am JAC Senior.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Senor. Austin, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
Yes, Cookie Austin 2. Good player. All right. And now, Gabriel Lee said, "I'm here now. You can go ahead and start the show." Absolutely not. Okay, you can go to sleep, sir. All right. And you can find me at CJ Colts fan. Make sure that you're following all our pages. That's at YDKJAC podcast, at YDK basketball, at YDKJAC baseball. This way you can follow us when my newly found Bulls beat the Lakers and the Heat. All right. So this way, yep. Levine is going to dunk on LeBron all year. Well, I mean not all year. He's only going to play.
It's not hard. LeBron's 7, 8 years old.
Well, you know what? Get his AARP ready because he's about to catch it. All right. So with that being said, people, we will be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you're on the lookout once again to the winners of the Twitter contest. Congratulations. And we'll be going ahead and reaching out. So other than that, guys, have a great day or have a great rest of your week. And we will talk to you next week.